This episode of Saber Sunday, we're going to talk about the saber from the man, the myth, the legend, the one and only Darth Vader. We're going to look at the differences between his saber and what he had when he was Anakin. So stay tuned. We'll be right back with all that. Welcome back and thank you for joining us. This episode, we are going to look closer at the Darth Vader saber. We're going to look at some of the differences between this one and the Anakin saber that he has before he converts or changes or submits to the dark side via Palpatine's training, and see what the differences are. Now, the one that you get from Disney, as far as the Legacy Lightsaber goes, there are some slight differences, slight variations to this one compared to the actual prop from the movie, from what I can tell. Now, the information that I'm getting is from StarWars.com, so you can look on there and see some of the information they have. Because I really, even with all the searching I did, I couldn't find anything that had a definitive picture close up to be able to see a lot of detail on the saber, to be able to give you, 100% guaranteed data and information on that. So this is going based off of what's on StarWars.com, which is from Disney, and of course we know Disney has some variations to their information since purchasing the Star Wars franchise from Lucasfilms. But we're going to look at the comparison, the Legacy lightsaber versions that they've made, that are supposed to be, as close to realistic movie prop style, as far as what Disney's trying to put out there. And then we're going to look at some of the differences, because based on what we know, his original, when he was Anakin, being the Anakin saber, they are very similar to each other as far as designs. Now, after he pledged himself to Palpatine, he wanted to try to come up with a saber that was going to be more modern, more up to date than that of his new master in Darth Sidious or Palpatine. And what he ended up making was one that was very similar to his original design when he was Anakin. Now, we know that, he lost his saber during the battle on Mustafar, where he and Obi-Wan Kenobi battled, and Obi-Wan ended up taking the saber and keeping it, only to later on give it to Vader's son Luke. Looking at the designs, if you're looking at them both from the front side, basically how you would hold them. So like this being the side that's would be facing you, or facing you if you're holding it. You can see that the switches are in different places. Now, the switch design on the Vader saber does have the bubble strip, which technically speaking is the reason why, if you've seen my other video, I say that this is not Luke Skywalker's actual saber from A New Hope. And that being because it has the circuit strip on here. It does not have the bubble strip. If you go and take a look at pictures, and I'll throw one up here above me, you'll see where in the episodes leading up to Return of the Jedi, this particular saber actually has this same bubble strip on it. Now, speculation is it was put on there by Obi-Wan for ease of use for Luke as Luke was training. And then as Luke got more versed in his saber techniques, he removed the bubble strip, revealing the circuitry strip on here as far as your activation switch. And that's the reason why, as you see in episode 6, Return of the Jedi, that it has more of the circuitry style, which is why we also see, I'm sorry, take that back. It would be episode 5, because he lost this saber in the battle versus Darth Vader. So I correct myself here. Up in Cloud City, to this saber actually. So between episode 4, A New Hope, and episode 5, Empire Strikes Back, he may have removed that bubble strip off of this saber because he, got a little bit better with this one. One of the big things that you'll notice is the original Anakin saber has the D-ring on the bottom, whereas Vader's saber has the D-ring at the top. Almost looks like it has a belt clip notch on here, but this is actually not for the belt clip, even though it looks like there's one of each on it. It's actually designed to use the D-ring on the saber. If you pull up StarWars.com, you'll actually see on there that same design setup as far as the D-ring goes on it. Now, one of the nice things, and I'm going to set the Anakin saber aside for a second. One of the nice things is they did do with this saber, and I know you can see the sticker on here. I did not remove the sticker off of this one here. I have yet to do that. I've removed it off most of the other ones that I have. I haven't done this one yet. But one of the things you'll notice is if you have this one, you'll be able to see it a lot better. If not, and I don't think I can really get it. You can kind of see a little bit in the light right here. It has the S. On this side here, it has the B, and then underneath the wiring right here, it has the E. There's also a letter, I believe it's another E, underneath this set of wires. And that's actually a throwback to the original design prop, because when this was made, when George Lucas had it designed, the aluminum housing that was there actually had those letters on the saber itself. So that is a nice throwback to the original design from George Lucas, the way he had it done. The other thing with this one here is, like I said, you do have the ignition switch, more along the lines of at the fingertips here versus on the side as the Anakin. But the movie prop itself, one of the things I've noticed is this band here is not black all the way around. This section right here where the screw is at, according to the actual prop, this was actually a chrome color or nickel coloring on here, nickel plating on there. So this actual piece of the chassis that goes right down through here was actually more of a chromish or aluminum coloring on the picture there. So it's that's just one of the slight differences on there. So you do have the same grip on it. Now with this saber, just like all others, I will tell you, if you've purchased it, take the batteries that are in it, throw them out. They're garbage. The battery case on this one here is on the end. And this particular ring does have on there the model, serial number, all the information or whatever it is that they put on the lightsabers for that. So this chassis, it does take AA batteries. Many of your other chassis or other sabers take AAA batteries. This particular one takes AA batteries. You see I'm running Duracells in here just because of the fact that the stock batteries are trash. Also, and I know I've said this in other review videos already, I will say it in this one as well, do not store your lightsabers with the batteries inside because you run the risk of them leaking, and if they leak, you run the risk of damaging the chassis or for the battery chassis itself, and then you're pretty much screwed. The chassis in this one here, and I'll kind of show you. I speculated in my other video that you might be able to borrow the chassis between the two, and you can see here there is a slight difference in size. You know, this being the Vader one, this one being your Anakin, or the Rey as it's listed in the movie, or in the as far as Disney goes. The ends are slightly different as well, where the contact points are. So I don't know that you can use the other chassis. I have not tried, mainly because I really don't want to end up causing damage to any of my Legacy Sabers. Hence the reason why I highly suggest do not store them with the batteries inside. So let me go ahead and put this back together, and we'll go ahead and take the blade plug that's in the blade port out, so that we don't have that in the way, and we will go ahead and install our Jaymoo blade here, making sure that I get the right notches in place. Now, this is the first time I've put the Jaymoo blade in this saber, so this will be the first time I've seen it ignited in this particular saber. So I'm really excited to see it inside Vader's saber for the first time. Oh, and I love the slow ignition profile for the Vader blade on the Jaymoo blade. And I don't know if you can tell on my face, and I'm sure you probably can, I've got the pulsating design on this saber blade, because I just really like the way it looks with that design on there. It's just so much better, so much nicer. To give you a comparison, I'll go ahead and turn that off, and I will put a stock blade in for you so you can see the real difference between that. Get that in there, and ignition. So we get the same sound, we don't get the brightness, we also don't get the pulsating power fluctuation of it, and of course we also get the crappy sectional on and off of the saber. So if you do not have a Jaymoo blade and you want to get something that is NeoPixel quality without spending NeoPixel prices, a Jaymoo blade is a perfect option to be able to get. Gives you a much nicer ignition design, and the power fluctuation of the blade and the coloring as well. So, well, that, folks, is the long and short of the Darth Vader Legacy Lightsaber from Galaxy's Edge. I like the weight of this one. It's got a nice weight on it. This particular saber, let me look back at my notes here real fast, weighs, dry weight now, this is without batteries, so this is all dry weights. It weighs 1 pound and 7.6 ounces. It's nowhere near the heaviest. It kind of comes in somewhere in the middle as far as weight goes, compared to your other Legacy lightsabers. It does weigh more than the Anakin or Rey saber. It is slightly heavier, and I think that might just be because it has the, I mean, honestly, the sizing is a little bit larger. It feels. I know that you can see that the grips are much longer here versus in this area. The grips are much longer. The saber is about the same size, but I mean, just holding them up, I can feel there is a slight difference in weight between the two of them. So, all in all, not a bad saber. It's really good if you are looking for a nice display saber. Of course, the blades on these are not, if you get the stock blades, and even the Jaymoo blade, they're not designed really for dueling or for any kind of combat. So these are going to be more for display purposes, to goof around and play around with, but not any kind of real heavy contact damage, or contact combat on there, unless you really want to damage your saber. The most recent price changes. So yes, $149.99 is what this one is retailing for now at the park. Florida taxes, you're looking at $159.75. California taxes, you're looking at $161.61. If you're going to try to pick this up through a scavenger or smuggler, whatever you want to call it, if you're looking at, for the average 15%, you're looking at $183, just shy of $184 for this saber. And in Florida, California, you're looking at just shy of $186. Now those prices are before shipping. Based on where you're at, the price is going to vary slightly. So if you're finding it that your selected scavenger is giving it to you for those kind of prices, you're doing pretty good. Some are doing it for less, some are doing it for more. It all depends. Just double check and make sure that that the person you're getting it from is reputable and is not overcharging for it at that point. These are still available. They're in and out of stock, so you should be able to find it. There is no definitive information on when or whether this saber will ever be retired or discontinued or anything like that. So just keep a lookout for it. If you haven't picked it up, definitely do. I think you will definitely be pleased with it. And with that, I will say thank you for joining us. If you can, go ahead and reach down there and hit that like and subscribe button. If you don't mind, I would appreciate it. Hit a little bell notification so that way that you'll get notified whenever I upload these videos. If you're on Facebook, give me a like and a thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it. Lets me know that you guys are enjoying these videos, and I'll go ahead and continue to make them going forward. So thanks again, and as always, may the Force be with you.